All right, I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here.
Oh boy.
What worries you this weekend? If you're looking at this from an Ohio State perspective, what is actually making you bite your fingernails a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's up front. I think it's the two lines of scrimmages. Like we've talked about it 3 times now after games, where when we look at the tape or we look Sunday mornings when we talk, like physicality is like something that I think this team lacks. I thought it was better against Western Kentucky, but like you still, again, there's too many times where there were stalemates at the line of scrimmage, and you just can't have that. Yes, it was great that on Saturday, the running game and Travion and Chip were able to hit some big home run plays. I thought that was awesome, and I loved what we saw from the receivers. But the line of scrimmage, when you get into a game where you're facing someone of equal talent for the first time now, but you're getting into this is a top 10 match. These are two great teams. When whoever wins the line of scrimmage is most of the time going to win the football game. And that, if I'm Ohio State, man, this is a big test for that offensive line, and that they've been talking about it for weeks now. Coach Day's made mention of it a couple times. But I think if I'm the Buckeyes and if I'm Coach Day, I'm like, man, our both of our lines better show up, because when Notre Dame's on offense, they have an elite offensive line. And Ohio State's supposed to have an elite defensive line. We haven't seen it much yet. And then when Notre Dame's on defense and Ohio State's on offense, Notre Dame's got a pretty stout defensive front and really good linebacker play. And you just need to see something from that Ohio State offensive line. So if there's anything, that's what's keeping me up at night if I'm a Buckeye.
I am not overly concerned about Estime having a ridiculous day. I think he might pop a couple of runs. But I'm choosing to put a lot of faith in Tommy Eichenberg in particular this week. I think it's going to be really cool for him, and frankly for his family. I mean, his brother played at Notre Dame. It's very cool for him to have a chance to go play in Notre Dame Stadium. Steele Chambers has had a really solid start to the year at linebacker. So in general, Ohio State's linebacker play helps put at ease some of my, pregame tension around, is Estime going to go off? But I really want to see a big game from Sonny Styles this week, because he's had enough time now to get his feet underneath him, and he's going to get a bigger test than he's ever gotten. But I think, the coaching staff decidedly putting him in lots of different places, up on the line of scrimmage, deeper at safety, as a pseudo linebacker. I mean, the kid is so athletic and can do so many different things for you defensively that I think they may lean on him a little bit more this week. I think I've seen enough from him in stopping the run. I want to see what he can do if he's on the field and Jordan Hancock isn't. And maybe Notre Dame puts out packages that make you think they're going to run, and then Styles is forced into helping in coverage. I don't know that he's been tested enough, in my opinion, in that way yet. So I want to see him perform well.
Yeah, and he's a guy who can change the complexion of the game. Like if he's in, just like you said, like there's such a chess match between offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, where you're not only trying to get in the right play calls, but you're trying to get in the right packages and formations to dictate what the defense is going to do. So when you sub in 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends, how's Ohio State going to respond, or vice versa when they have 4 receivers in. And when you have a guy like Sonny Styles, who the hope is that he can play in both, right? Where he doesn't have to come out and he can play big, but he can also hang with receivers and run with slot guys. That a type of performer, or type of guy like that can really change the complexion of a game and give Ohio State a leg up. And I think he's poised to do it. Like, you love what you've been seeing. And I think it's been obvious that they've been trying him in different places, seeing what he can do and seeing how he can play. And I think he's a guy to keep your eye out when Ohio State's on defense, because he can really make big plays and change how this game goes.